What you expect, niggas switch perspectives. You know she got objectives. No point in trying to lecture. Don't let that shit affect you. Just let the bros protect you. In the end, flip the script. She must be glad she met you. Yeah. See, now I'm feeling
Check
nasty.
1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Cause I can hear you.
Gotcha, guys. Give me a clap.
Welcome back to Opinionated the Podcast, Season 3. I am your host, Joshua Hicks, and alongside me, as always, is my brother from another mother, Ree Washington. Season 3, we back in effect. We know y'all missed us. Ree, how you been?
Been good, man. Can't complain. Another day to breathe. So I think with that, you got a lot to be grateful for, man. What about yourself?
Man, I've been good, man. I think this past year has been crazy, right? New York Times, Young Alumnus Award winner from Illinois College. Yourself, you just graduated from nursing school.
I did, man.
Rose and Chris just graduated. I think, everybody's always been wondering what we've been doing since that long break, since the podcast, but we've been working. We got other lives outside the podcast, but we back.
Silent steps, making progress towards what the life we want, I guess.
Exactly, man. But, enough about that, man. Let's get down to it, man. What do you have in hopes for this season?
I think the guests that, I reached out to, I think they're going to bring a different aspect, man. Something that we face, we've had a lot of guests or, not to name names, but, just people who hasn't been as supportive as we thought. Mm-hmm. We bring them on this platform to, help push their life out there and, to give.
It's not reciprocated back sometimes.
Right. And just give people a different perspective on life and, just different various of topics, man, and just hasn't been, necessarily what we wanted, but what we didn't expect, you know what I'm saying? But that's why you don't, put expectations on things. But I think that, the guests are going to be good this time, man. They want to,
Mm-hmm.
And I think, that's different.
And I think what people don't understand is a podcast, it's a slow burn, right? I know although we're on season 3, people may think it's been 3 years, but man, it's only been a year and a half.
Right.
But our lives have changed for the better in that year and a half. We're post, pandemic. Like I said before, a year passed. You're graduated from nursing school now. Rose and Chris have now graduated. I was able to be featured, a few times throughout the year just on, major newspapers and outlets like that. So, we understand that it's a slow burn, but we're right where we want to be. And if the guests that we have on, rock with us, we're going to make sure that we rock with them to the fullest. But, Ree, it's a crazy world out there, man.
Right.
And I'm glad that we're actually shooting the podcast now because there's some topics that we need to talk about that's going on in the world that, most platforms are afraid to talk about. And we're going to touch on them a little bit. But
I think first, man, you should tell them, what is Exit One? What are you doing with Exit One Productions?
Yeah, man. I started Exit One Productions, my production company based out of Florida City, Florida, with one of my closest friends and a good business partner, Michael Burtz Jr. We want to highlight where we're from. I'm from Homestead. He's from Florida City. And together we're Exit One Productions. We're shooting our first documentary together, talking about both communities and, a socioeconomic time where 2022, you have two places that are literally separated and divided by a street, but they're both two different places. So we're just trying to work on that, man. But enough about me. Let's talk about you and your process and your growth through nursing school, man. You got multiple degrees now.
Yeah, man, the NCLEX is the real monster, man. After graduating, man, me signing up for the day to take the NCLEX was more nervous than I felt like enrolling into a new nursing school, bro. So to be done with it, I'm very grateful, bro. It's a long road. Like, when you first start something, it seems so far away. Mm-hmm. The light at the end of the tunnel seems far away. But, you just kind of put your head down and just do what you need to do. Time's always going to pass. So
Exactly.
That's one thing I learned. So with time just passing and me just continuously being in it, it's like I'm almost done. So now that it's done with, man, I've slept.
Mm-hmm. You slept way more than you normally have slept.
Yeah, and it's trying to get out of that habit is the hardest thing I've seen. So just trying to prepare for the NCLEX, man, and just don't really know what field I want to go into just yet with nursing, but there's so many options. So just kind of ready for the next endeavor with it.
Yeah, and throughout this whole process, man, we've both talked about self-growth a lot. And I've seen it, not only within yourself, but myself as well, where, it's not personal if, some people, try to reach out to us and we don't get back to them on a timely manner. It's just that life has been crazy this past 6 months, to be honest with you. And,
Right.
You and I are both in places that we would have never thought we would be in rooms that we never, in rooms that we wish that we were a part of, and now we're being a part of it,
Right.
Like myself, I'm with a partnership with, a mega corporation that I don't want to name drop, but I would have never thought that I would have been in a situation like that at this young of an age. And now that I'm in that room, I understand that I've actually belonged there the whole time. That table was already built. I just needed to bring my seat. And with you, you're well deserving. A lot of people don't understand everything that you've gone through in your life, as far, especially with school. But it's the fact that, you and I, we both can sit on this platform along with, Rose as our director. And we can all say, hey, we got multiple degrees on here. I don't think it's too many podcasts that have that. So sometimes we got to clap for ourselves and, understand that where we're going is going to be bigger.
Right, and I just think, to be honest, man, what we talk about is also a slow growth. It's a slow burn. Not knocking anybody else's podcast and stuff like that, but you hear a lot of toxic stuff on them, you know what I mean, and things that are trendy, you know what I'm saying, which might help boom it, but I just can't force myself to talk about something that is not helpful in a way, that's not going to help somebody grow, or that's not going to benefit somebody, or, help lead them to a successful life or a successful path, man. And it's crazy, man. It's a crazy world, like you said, and just I've encountered a lot. And it's not that I necessarily want to get back to you or something like that, but I just found, like, a lot of people do ping my line because they need something or want something, but, it's really rarely ever return. You know what I'm saying? And then once you figure out that, the love and the joy and then the, just your gratitude that you give out, is not always being reciprocated, man. You kind of just tend to the people who are for you and who support you and who that you could tell is gonna have your back. You know what I mean? Yeah. I put myself out there a lot. I think this past year and a half, and just to feel like I've gotten spit on more than one occasion, man. It just kind of helped change you and just change how you move a little bit. So I don't think it's should be taken personal.
Yeah, and I mean, I think within the year and a half of doing this podcast and now being on season 3, we've seen a lot of people who have created podcasts and have left podcasts, within this short amount of time, because I think people, they see us and they may think, oh, it's easy. And we understand that we pay homage to everybody who is on bigger platforms or smaller platforms. We understand game recognizes game. We understand that.
I didn't have to cut you off. I think we just pay homage to anything. We hear a quote from someone, we always give back. We hear this from somebody, or we always name drop if it's something that need to be given back. So
yeah, and I mean, this podcast thing, we didn't get into it because we wanted to become famous or we wanted to have, a whole bunch of subscribers on YouTube or things like that. It was more so when I told you what it was in season 1 and season 2. This came about during the pandemic, where I saw people dying and losing their lives and people who wanted to be better. And now we have the opportunity not only to continue to grow our platform, but, let people show their lives and show their stories and tell their stories, I should say. And this isn't clickbait. I mean, we're not going to sit up here and, talk bad about people, tear women down, tear men down, We're not here for that. We're here to tell real life stories and make purpose popular.
So what have some things that you've, overcame or battled with, or, had to distinguish between, since, season 2?
Man, I think it's just really just self-growth now, right? I was 25 when we started this, and although it's only been a year, I'm 26 now. I'm starting to see those seeds that I planted, they starting to grow. With this podcast, with S3EP Productions, with the partnership that I have with the major organization and company, coaching kids, teaching kids, everything is coming into a balance where, I'm a very spiritual person. I have a great relationship with the man upstairs. And a lot of times I was always afraid of what he was trying to do for me. Like, you might hear that voice in the back of your head that's telling you, I might have heard that voice in the back of my head that was telling me to do something, but I was afraid to accept the challenge because I was afraid of the unknown.
Right.
Now realizing that he already had it written in stone for me, all I had to do was just follow and accept. And once I started doing that, all these things started to happen to me, and I was ready for it. I'm not the same person who I was 2 years ago or a year ago. I would be lying to you honestly if I told you that I was ready for that. I wasn't ready for it. It would have been too much, and I probably wouldn't have appreciated everything that's coming now. So now being 26, being around a small group of people. I don't hang around a lot of people, man. I don't go out. You ain't gonna see this. The most jewelry you gonna probably see on me, man. But it's the simple fact that now at 26, hey, I am who I am, and not in a bad way. I love the person who I am today, and I mean that pays homage to the people that I hang around. My circle is small, like I said before. You are my brother, and you know I'll ride with you until the wheels fall off. So I also got to pay respect to you because you helped me become a better person and a better man. So that's pretty much it with me.
Nah, bro. You know the love is always giving back, bro. You my brother for life, man. For me, man, it's just about my growth, man. Really came in just myself, like understanding who I was, understanding what I actually had to give. More than, we live in a generation where right now it seems to be like, focuses on certain type of things, right? So just understanding what I could bring to the table, bro, and really just putting myself around people who, bring that back, man. They say, hang around, broke people, you're going to be the 10th, you know what I'm saying? So it's just about putting myself in positions, trying new things, man. Wanted to throw a pool party. Linked up with a couple people, bro, and we threw a pool party, man. And shout out to DJ Ashton Martin, bro. Nick Davis was there. D, who helped me put it together. Just saying something I could do something and actually getting it done. You know what I'm saying? So just putting myself around people who, value me and just are willing to get that same energy, bro, because it's very much needed, man. And this year was, man, a little spooky for me, man. Just I remember calling Dion one night, then calling you the next morning, like, bro, like I literally had somebody tell me that, bro, they'll take food out of my mouth for they could feed, for they could eat, you know what I mean, and they'll take food money out of my pockets for they could feed their family, you know what I mean, and just hearing that from somebody who you been rocking with for some time and just been in the trenches with, when it comes to certain things, and just hearing that, and then just seeing how people will treat you, on behalf of, being sneaky, and, what I'm saying, just certain things really shaped me this past year, man, and just kind of getting through those, man, with this, you on my side, bro, and us talking through everything, man, and just, I think it's important just to being around the right people, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's been a learning period for you and I both. And like I said, with the podcast, you see people's real intentions.
Right.
People, they want to come on the show. I understand that. I respect you. Salute. We gonna promote you, and all we asking is for the same respect. But when it's not retaliated back or reciprocated back, hey, it is what it is.
But at the same time, man, I've had people reach out to me, man, and ask to be put in positions, man, and they thought I was gonna give them my position in return. It's like, what are you talking about, man? I'll show you the way. I'll show you the ropes. I'll show you how to, do certain things. But why would I bring you in and give you my position that I really work for? You know what I mean? So it's, things didn't work out with certain individuals. But it's like, come on, man. Like, it's crazy to me, man. And it's the love is still there, but it's from a distance now. You can't be this close to me, because I feel like you're just gonna take any minute you get. You'll take from me, and I won't even know it sometimes, because if you're so focused on what's ahead of you, moving forward in life and, progressing and, always looking behind you. But that's why it's important to have people who got your back and who look for you, look out for you when it's those certain times, man. So,
I mean, we have some great partnerships with people just with the podcast alone. I mean,
right.
Shout out to, our boy Dakota Jones, with his company of Chick-fil-A up there in New Jersey. He's one of our sponsors this season. Society Kansas City has been nothing but generous, for letting us use their space,
right.
For 2 seasons. Kansas City and Miami, those are both our homes, but, they always show love. And, I mean, we just have a list full of people, but I wanted to shout those people out in particular because, we're grateful for the time and the energy that they, put into us, because really this podcast thing is just really me and Ree just put all our money into it. Rose comes in, she puts all her time into it. So, it's our baby, but it's season 3, and we continue for many more seasons.
And it's one of those things, man. You gotta dump into yourself. Who knows when it'll take off? Who knows if it will take off?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like just believing in yourself, dumping back into yourself, man. I don't think money is ever wasted if you're investing it into yourself or into your business or into anything that you want to do, or work towards. I don't think like you said, time is more important than money. You can always make money back. You can't get time back.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But also what you do with your time is also important, and what you are attentive to.
Because I don't even think people understand. This season was really up to Ree and myself, because a lot of people don't understand or know this story. But, man, we had our audio equipment stolen from us, essentially. And that was $1,200-$1,300 worth of equipment down the drain. And we had to have a sit-down conversation, Ree and I, over the phone, and, ask people, ask one another, is this really worth it, right? Season 1 and Season 2, okay, it has some good numbers on YouTube, but we're not making any money from this. Do people really care enough to hear our stories that much for us to spend this much more money again?
Or hear our guest stories.
Yeah, or hear our guest stories on audio equipment. And, that's when, Ree was like, yeah, it is worth that. And like you just said, money can be spent, but, time, that's something sacred. So,
well, like we learned, man, I feel like everybody has a story. Everybody wants to share their story. It's a part of them. And, as you meet different people and you make those connections, man, you're meeting somebody who you don't even know. The finished product in a way, or you're meeting somebody who is, in that loading area, they're loading, they're becoming who they want to be. They have the issues like everybody. They had the pros and cons, the good and the bad, but you never know their story, bro. And I think this platform helps, because once you get to know these people and you hear their stories, you're like, man, I can respect you this much more. And I understand where you came from, so I understand why you act like that, you move like that, so I think that's the beauty in it, man. I think that
it's that beauty in the struggle for real,
right? And you don't have a you don't have that status or the blue check mark that we always talk about, that influencer, whatever, status, status quo, so, per se. But I think all these people are regular people, bro, with a story, and it's important because, you never know who you're going to run into.
Yeah. And, I mean, I'm excited for this this season, man, because, like I said, we didn't know if we was going to be here 2 months ago. We really didn't.
Right.
So the fact that, everything worked out in our favor, everything was God's plan for us to be here. Like I said, shout out to Rose, because she probably was what really makes this show pop. A lot of people always ask us, who's y'all director? Sure. Who is he? Who is he? Nah, it's a woman.
And she do the damn thing.
And, if people want to know, I'm like, she ain't for sale. But if y'all do want to borrow her from us, y'all going to have to pay that cash.
Gonna come with the chicken.
Exactly, man.
But no, definitely, man. Like, we couldn't do it without Rose, and that's factual. Nothing could be taken from that, you know what I mean? And she makes it what it is, She tells us how it is and how she wants it, And we kind of roll with the punches. So, man, we wouldn't be here without her. So, not even him and I, you know what I mean? So, we would not be here without her. So, we're just the voices, but she does everything behind the scenes, which is more than appreciated. So, and
we're a small unit. It's 3 of us, right? When you go into like a TV show, man, they might have 50 people on set. You go into a movie, they may have 90 people on set. But with a podcast, it's just us 3. Nobody's job goes bigger than the others. Everybody's appreciated the same. And I really do believe, people who may look at our podcast who are starting from the bottom just like us, and they're saying, okay, how are they on season 3? Understand that you have to be selfless in this game. If you're coming in here trying to be something that you're not, or you're trying to come behind a microphone and hide your true identity, it's going to come full circle and people are going to call you out for it. And I think that's the reason why we're so successful, because even outside these mics, we're still the same people day in and day out.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely... Man, I get mixed up in the mix with all that, man. I actually had a post somebody talking, I'm a light-skinned pit bull. At certain times, you just don't know me. You know what I mean? And you get to meet one aspect, but, don't forget how you come up to me.
Exactly.
I think it's always, important how you approach somebody. Like, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? You can get to know me, but come the same way I would come at you. I'm going to show my respect to show your respect. I think lines get crossed and, it starts to flutter between that gray area, bro. It's... they don't understand certain aspects of it, bro. So I think that's missed sometimes. But I mean, I don't think that can't be fixed.
And I mean, you know, this is a shorter episode than normal just because we wanted to update you guys on who we are and, you know, and heights and expectations of this new season. But when this episode drops, it will be a double feature of this episode and our very first episode of season 3. But enjoy the ride with us because we ain't stopping no time soon.
We got great guests, man. I'm excited to hear what they have to say, what they have to bring to the table, man. I think they're going to add some flavor.
Exactly.
Like I said, our trials and tribulations, what we went through, man, I think is really going to help shape conversations. You know, what we've been through within the past year. Like, everybody goes through something. You know what I'm saying? That's an obvious, man. Nobody's life is perfect, and nobody's life is that bad. You know, I think, you know, I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that people put themselves in situations, and now they, you know, deal with them consequences, and sometimes them consequences ain't all as easy.
Exactly. But with all that being said, he's Reed Washington. I go by the name of Joshua Hicks. This wraps up another great episode of Opinionated the Podcast Season 3. Love, always. Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. To further explain, to truly be free, we must have the freedom not to be successful. We have this obsession of wanting perfection, yet it rarely comes with instructions. Lean on your friends and loved ones for advice and help. The path toward success rarely comes without bumps in the road. Have a life-changing week. As always, Sela.